Forget the traditional image of the tech founder.
Yeah.
Forget the venture capital rounds, the office full of junior developers.
Mm-hmm.
That model, I think, well, frankly, it's dead.
It absolutely is. We're looking at a future, and I mean, it's happening right now in 2026, where one person with zero coding knowledge
Zero.
and maybe $50 a month in tools can run a profitable, highly efficient AI empire. The game is no longer about building the tech. It's all about orchestration.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're immersing ourselves in a really detailed 7-step blueprint for building exactly that kind of business.
The one-person AI service model.
We've synthesized a guide that just completely reframes modern entrepreneurship. Our mission today is to show you exactly how one person can replace the function of, a 15-employee startup?
That's right. And this blueprint, it suggests the biggest bottleneck isn't the technical skill anymore.
No.
It's laser focus. It's the discipline to actually use these AI tools. We're going to break down the whole system.
From the niche finding.
All the way to using AI gatekeepers to protect your time. Automating client wins. It's a whole new world. Your job moves entirely from being a builder to becoming an operator of specialized tools.
Okay, let's unpack that fundamental truth first.
Let's do it.
For decades, we've been told you need a computer science degree or millions in funding to start anything technical.
Yeah, that was the barrier to entry.
But our source material just definitively debunks that. The gap between wishing you had a solution and, actually launching it has never been smaller.
It's a complete paradigm shift. And it's all driven by these highly specialized no-code AI tools.
Right.
The old model meant chasing big raises, hiring a heavy headcount. I mean, remember, a decade ago, 15 employees was like typical for a seed-stage startup.
And then you'd face these long, expensive coding cycles just to get a basic product out.
Exactly. But now, the new model is just a laptop, an internet connection, and maybe $50 a month for a stack of subscriptions.
So the AI tools are handling the 90% of the execution that used to require those 15 people.
Yeah. The friction is it's evaporated.
But I have to push back on that $50 claim a little bit.
Okay.
You say orchestration, not coding, but aren't we just swapping one kind of debt for another? I mean, integration debt.
Yeah.
Connecting 4 or 5 complex tools so they work smoothly, that's still a pretty sophisticated skill, even if you're not writing Python.
That's a fair challenge, a really fair point. But I think the key difference is the cost and the speed of failure.
How so?
In the old model, if your code failed, it cost 6 figures and 6 months to fix.
Right.
Now, if your no-code integration breaks, you can often debug it almost instantly using AI itself. Or you swap out one cheap tool for another one. The whole risk profile is completely different.
That low risk is what allowed Sarah Chen to launch her AI content assistant, Brand Voice, and hit $10,000 a month in just 6 months.
With zero coding knowledge, that speed is the arbitrage, and it's all based on understanding the 10-80-10 rule. This is so critical.
Okay, break that down for us.
It defines where your human energy goes. 10% is pure ideation, the strategy, the targeting, and defining the niche. 80% is execution, which the AI handles completely.
The heavy lifting.
And that final 10% is integration and review. That's the human quality control, connecting the systems, making sure the final product is polished. You're the creative director, spending your energy on the high-value stuff.
So if the tools are cheap and the execution is automated, what becomes the biggest barrier to success?
Focus and follow-through are now the primary bottlenecks.
That focus brings us right to step 1, the hyper-niche formula.
Yes.
The sources say the #1 mistake people make is trying to be a generalist, calling yourself an AI consultant for small business.
That's where businesses go to die. You have to find what they call a bleeding neck problem, a really painful one.
A specialist, not a general practitioner.
Exactly. A specialist sees a painful problem, knows the financial consequence, and has the exact tool for the job. The formula is very specific. It's specific group plus painful problem plus AI solution. If you target everyone, you find no one.
So let's use the sources contrast here. The vague, doomed approach is offering AI consulting for small businesses. It's just too broad.
It means nothing.
So what does the profitable, hyper-focused approach look like?
It's extremely tight. Like, imagine this. I help high-end real estate agents respond to Zillow leads in under 30 seconds.
Okay.
Using a specialized AI funnel, saving them a potential $20,000 commission they would have lost because they were too slow.
Wow, that's specific. It defines the group, the pain slow response, and the massive financial consequence.
And that's what drives payment.
So how do you even spot that kind of pain point, the thing that keeps people awake at 3 a.m.?
You have to become like an anthropologist in that niche. You go where they hang out.
Reddit, Facebook groups?
Reddit communities, Facebook groups for specific trades, industry LinkedIn posts. You look for patterns, especially phrases like, I hate doing X, or it takes us forever to do Y.
And then you have to validate it.
You must validate the payment potential. If solving the problem saved them $5,000 a month or 20 hours a week, they will happily pay you thousands.
The financial consequence isn't just a validation point, it's the primary filter for the whole thing.
Exactly. If the problem doesn't have a measurable financial consequence saving time or money, it's just a hobby. It's not a business.
Which takes us to step 2, which challenges traditional sales. And I really appreciate this. It recognizes how buyers actually operate now. Buyers in 2026, they hate the friction of a mandatory discovery call. They'd much rather use low-friction DMs.
They want answers now. The strategy is called sell by chat, and it just scales so much better than one-on-one meetings.
Chat reduces that resistance, right? People feel less pressure.
Totally. The speed of getting answers now often outweighs the need for a perfect old-school sales process. And this is the AI sales loop in action.
So a specialized AI chatbot engages leads on Instagram or LinkedIn.
Immediately. It asks qualifying questions, budget, timeline, specific challenge, and it only passes the goal leads to the human operator.
So the human only comes in to close the deal. The AI manages, what, 80 to 90% of the repetition?
That is enormous leverage. And you can realistically run that whole operation from your smartphone. You're focusing your limited human energy purely on closing, not chasing.
Okay, so that leads us into step 3, prospecting. This used to be the most soul-crushing part of business.
Oh, it was awful. I can remember the days spent manually copying LinkedIn data. It was a genuine form of digital penance.
But now we have the sleep method.
A true relief. It's total automation for lead generation.
Yeah.
You just upload examples of your best customers or you describe them in detail.
And the AI tool, like Clay, it analyzes these deep behavioral patterns.
Right. Industry, size, tech stack, what they're doing on social media.
Yeah.
And it finds 500 perfect clones of your ideal client.
And it's not just scraping emails, it's connecting data points, like finding businesses that use an old CRM and haven't updated their LinkedIn in 6 months.
Precisely. That deep behavioral pattern is the real value. It finds the actual decision makers and pulls their verified contact info. You set the prompt and you walk away. The list just builds itself.
Give us a specific example. What would a prompt on a tool like Clay actually sound like?
Okay, you tell it. Find me 500 dental practices in the San Diego region with 2 to 5 locations that have active but clearly inconsistent Instagram accounts. Provide the owner's name, verified email, and their social profiles.
And you get a fully populated, targeted list in minutes.
That's the 80% execution happening while you sleep.
So why is running the business from a smartphone a practical reality now?
The basic software stack costs little and automates most of the daily operational work.
Okay, step 4 is about protecting your most valuable asset, your calendar.
Your time.
This is where the AI voice agent comes in as a gatekeeper. If you're just one person, you cannot afford to waste an hour on a prospect who has no budget.
This is the automated interview, and it's getting incredibly sophisticated. When a lead clicks book a call, they don't go to your calendar yet.
Right.
They get a phone call from a professional-sounding AI agent. And I don't mean that robotic voice from 2005. This AI asks tough, qualifying questions about their budget. Biggest challenge, timeline.
And if they fail?
If they fail a qualification, say they confirm they have no budget. The AI politely declines the meeting and sends them a free resource instead. Your calendar is completely protected.
So you only talk to the 10% who are qualified and ready to pay. That is peak leverage. Then we move to step 5, AI-powered proposals. Why are generic PDF proposals, as the source puts it, trash?
Because people buy solutions to their specific problems, not generic feature lists. A generic proposal just tells the client you don't actually understand them.
But writing custom proposals manually is way too slow for a one-person shop.
And this is where it gets really interesting. You automate true personalization using a custom GPT or a specialized AI writing setup.
How does that work?
You feed it your master proposal template, and you feed it the full transcript of your conversation with the prospect.
So it has all the context.
Exactly. And the prompt is highly detailed. You tell the AI to open by addressing the client's top 3 pain points in their own words, include relevant case studies, and use terminology that mirrors how they talk.
The AI generates a proposal that literally uses the client's own words back to them.
I mean, before we get deeper into that, I have to admit, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes. Making sure a complex prompt gets the tone right every single time.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Prompt drift is basically when your complex instructions, after you use them a bunch, start to degrade.
It loses the nuance.
The AI starts to forget to include the case study, or it slips back into generic marketing language. So you do have to monitor the output, but the benefit is it's so worth the friction. The goal is to create that Me Too effect, make the client feel completely understood.
That's the fastest way to reduce sales friction. But there's a crucial closing rule here.
Okay.
Never just email the proposal and wait. You must schedule a 15-minute call to walk them through it. Closing happens in conversation, not in static documents.
That makes perfect sense. The VSSL framework is a great guide for that call. Hook, agitate, solution, proof, offer, call to action.
So what is the main benefit of using the client's own words in the proposal?
It creates a Me Too effect, making the client feel heard and reducing sales friction. All right, we move into step 6, which is mastering objections.
The fun part.
Sales really begin when the client says, it's too expensive, or I need to talk to my partner.
These are not rejections. They're just opportunities to clarify and reinforce the value.
And you fix this not by memorizing scripts, but by practice.
Continuous, focused practice. And the AI becomes your world-class sales coach. You feed it transcripts of your recorded sales calls, with permission, of course, and it analyzes the patterns.
So the AI is identifying gaps in the human element, in my performance.
Exactly. The AI will identify your top 5 recurring objections, it analyzes how you handled them, and critically, it provides better questions to ask instead of better arguments to make.
That's a key shift right there. Questions, not arguments.
Absolutely. The best salespeople guide, they don't pressure. So if a client says it's too expensive, the AI coach might suggest asking, I hear you. What is it currently costing you each month, financially or emotionally, to leave this problem unsolved?
You're guiding them to internalize the cost of inaction.
You're helping them sell themselves. Then the practice gets intense. The AI roleplay feature turns the AI into a skeptical, challenging buyer who pushes back hard on everything you say.
Whoa. Imagine scaling that continuous learning loop across a billion queries. Constantly refining the human element. That just accelerates skill acquisition exponentially.
It creates a continuous feedback loop that, historically, was only available to top performers working directly under a highly paid sales trainer. Now it's automated. It's immediate.
Okay, that brings us to the final step, step 7. Automated delivery and wins.
You got the deal.
You close the deal, which is great, but the sources emphasize that buyer's remorse often hits about 24 hours after the payment clears. You have to get ahead of it.
You have to immediately validate their decision. Right after payment, you send an automated but human-sounding message that says, congrats on taking action. Quick question. How do you feel right now, having finally solved this long-standing problem? You're acknowledging the emotion.
That simple check-in cuts through the remorse cycle, and then the automated onboarding sequence follows.
That's right. The system immediately sends their login details, 3 quick-win resources they can use right away, and a clear schedule for the first deliverable.
So they see momentum immediately.
All the CRM tagging, notifications, everything is updated automatically. The client just feels supported from minute 1.
And finally, the success flywheel. This sounds like a brilliant strategic move.
It's highly strategic. You put a clause in your contract that requires the client to report their wins and positive outcomes for potential case study use. So every time they share a win, you turn that data into a fresh, compelling case study using AI. That case study then helps you close the next client even faster. It just compounds on itself.
What is the hidden strategic value of mandating client win reporting?
It continuously feeds fresh, compelling proof back into the sales and prospecting system.
So that concludes the 7-step blueprint. The big idea here is what the sources are calling the one-person arbitrage.
Right. It means you're essentially buying execution capacity cheaply through those $50 AI subscriptions, and then you're selling highly specific, high-value, guaranteed results to a niche audience that has money.
It's a massive margin opportunity.
A huge one.
This system leverages AI to handle 80% of the execution, freeing the founder to focus only on the 2 highest value human activities, strategic thinking and building deep trust.
And the conclusion is, I think, undeniable. The AI gold rush isn't for the people building the models. It's for the people who know how to use those models to solve expensive, real-world problems for a hyper-specific group.
And the sources drive home the final stakes for 2026. The risk now isn't failing because you didn't have the technical skills.
No.
It's staying small and static because you're afraid of leveraging this new architecture.
The tools are here. The blueprint is defined. The market is waiting. We've given you the system. Now you have to execute.
So here's the final thought to mull over. If you already have your hyper niche defined and validated, how quickly can you execute that first 10-80-10 cycle? The only thing missing between you and that $10,000 a month mark is hitting the start button.
That's it.
We hope this deep dive helps you move from dreaming to doing.